So let me give you a real-time example on how you can use counterpoint in real life, in a real situation, but also how can you not use counterpoint, which is almost as important. In the song Latin Dream, in the verses, there's a motive that sounds like this. That's the melody. Now the chord that backs it up is an F sharp major with a G sharp in the bass, which makes it some sort of a suspended kind of chord, but it's actually this F sharp, A sharp, and C sharp with a G sharp in the bass. Sound like this. So the melody with that chord sounds like this. Now, when that melody was used in the song, for the first time it appeared without any kind of harmony, just double-tracked. That's how it sounded like.
I gotta break away to find the breaks in shadows abiding where time isn't hiding, waiting to take away your break, my last dream. I gotta break away to find the breaks in shadows abiding where time isn't hiding, waiting to take away your break, my last dream.
Now, in the second time it appears in the song, I harmonized it using another voice, a second voice, which was just parallel, using fourth and a third, but still going in the same direction. So that's not really counterpoint. So if the melody was, the second voice sang, which created something like this. That's how it sounds like.
Sorry to be so dour, but any hour I'm due for the taking. My poor heart is breaking. Now that the nurses say I'm at the end, I'll have to get going. There's no time to waste. This is not a joke. Sorry to be so dour, but any hour I'm due for the taking. My poor heart is breaking. Now that the nurses say I'm at the end, I'll have to get going. There's no time to waste. This is not a joke.
Now, when that melody came back in the last verse of the song, that's where I really wanted to make an impact. So I harmonized it using the counterpoint system. So that's what I did. So, as you remember, we had this melody. And the chord was an F sharp major with a G sharp in the bass. Like this. Now when I harmonized it, one of the things I wanted to do was to use one of the notes of this chord, of the F sharp chord, as a target. So what I did was, I actually started with a high note, which is just C sharp, and I just stayed on the C sharp throughout the whole thing. So what happened was, this melody moved to, and the higher notes just stayed the same. The reason it worked, though, was that it kept being different and creating different intervals against the main voice, but still staying consonant, or staying with one of the target notes, which is the C sharp that goes with the F sharp major chord. Now below that, I had another voice, which actually went to that same C sharp, but started with an F sharp. So what it did was, it created a chord once this voice came in, but then came back to that same one note idea of the counterpoint. So what I actually got was a voice that sounded like this. Which means that the first, if you look at the really first voicing I got a perfect F sharp major chord. F sharp, A sharp, and C sharp. But then, right after these notes, the two backing vocals began playing a C sharp, which was one of my target notes, while the melody was moving on top of that. So the melody was moving in steps while the other vocals were staying in the same place. So it sounded like this. That's how it sounds like in the actual song.
From people with flowers and visiting hours. 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 I'm gonna find the key to rescue me from people with flowers and visiting hours. I'm sick of all they use the screams. Don't cry me a river, just leave me alone. This is not a joke. I'm gonna find the key to rescue me from people with flowers and visiting hours. I'm sick of all they use the screams. Don't cry me a river, just leave me alone. This is not a joke.
So I hope this lesson gave you some idea on the richness and fullness you can get from the counterpoint system, but also that sometimes it's very practical to use the more traditional parallel system and to combine those when you're arranging the song. In the next lesson, I'm going to show how to use all those techniques that I've showed in all the previous lessons to create phrasing within the song.